Okay, guys. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Whitney Hebel. I am the star director of Simply Grace and Grit. I have been a consultant since 2017. I started my business when we lived in Georgia, and we now live in New York State. So the purpose behind this training is to share something with y'all. It's actually, okay, so it's to talk to y'all about JotForm. And it's a website, it's a forms website. And I used to do events before COVID. Not huge events, but usually just like local little events to meet people and sell some wax and, connect with the community. But obviously because of COVID, that hasn't been happening. So I had and have a decent amount of stock that I consistently share with my customers, but I could never figure out an easy or clean way to do that. And when I say clean, I mean not messy. So I do want to start this training out saying that this training's purpose is not for you to go and stock up on products to then sell to your customers. That is not what Scentsy likes. That's not what Scentsy is about. So this training is more for people who are in the same boat as me, where they have a decent amount of stock that they're trying to find a way to organize to then share with their customers privately, because you cannot share any inkling, any hint or anything that you have stock on hand with Scentsy. It is out of compliance to do that. So this training is not for you to go and stock up on products and then turn around and sell it this way. We are a party plan company. That means we sell by partying, and that's what you need to focus on. But if you are in the same boat as me and have a lot of stock from not being able to do events, this is a way that I have found that works for me. So with JotForm, I'm going to share my screen, but with JotForm, all you do is you just share a link with them. Okay, let me start sharing my screen. Okay, so, and this box is always right in the way with Zoom. Okay, so this is my JotForm for my stock. This is a link that I share with my customers privately so they can see what I have on hand. And I just wanted to show y'all first what it looks like. So I got this idea from Amy Stevens, Stephenens, from SFR. She did a training on how she uses JotForm for her stock. She's actually done a follow-up to that on YouTube as well. So if you registered for SFR, you can search her name and that training will come up, because all the trainings from SFR are on our training tab now. And then she did a follow-up to that on her YouTube channel. Her name is Amy Stevens. And then I also watched one of Chastity Robinson's videos. She briefly spoke about it in one of her meetings. So between those two trainings, I have played around with this and figured out how it can work best for me. So this is what my website looks like. And there are different ways to set this up, but it's actually similar to Google Forms in that while you're building it, it saves. So this is what my customers will see. They can see how many of each I have on hand. Again, this stock is either from kits that I've earned. All of my stock I have either use my half price or full reward or free rewards. So I don't ever pay full stock for any of my stuff, but you can see that it's by category. So first was warmers, fan diffusers and pods, the kids line. And with this, since it's offered privately, I can really put any price on it that I want. So like the Woody and Buzz, they were not originally $30, but I've had them for a while, so I'm ready. I lowered their price. And you can see I have it again by category, so body, and they can go in and pick what they want. I was gonna try, there's probably down here. So with my clean, I have more than one on hand, so I have two, so they can pick one or two. And when they pick what they want, they'll just go through and select it. And then here we get to the coupon, which I'll talk about when I show you how to set it up. But they can put in a code that will give them a percentage off. So a lot of times with my stock, I will personally tell my customers that I'm having a stock sale, and that's through private message only or email. That's how I talk to most of my customers. And then I can, and I haven't yet because this is still new, I've only shared this with one person so far, but and then I can give them a code, and they can put in a code to do like 50% off or 25% off, or today only 30% off, or whatever it may be. So they can put that in here, whatever code I give them, and apply it. Also, fun thing you can do with this is, say you're sending out your thank yous and you want to put a code on the back and say, use this code on my stock website to see what you get. And you can assign like different codes for different percentages off. So that's fun too. That's something I used to do on my business cards. I used to say, next order $10 off, and it would just be randomly given out. And then they could, since it was done personally, they can just say, hey, I have this coupon or whatever, and share it that way. So that's something you can do fun with that. And then here is my bars, and these are set up differently because I have a lot of bars, and I didn't want to put a picture for every one of them. So the difference between how this is set up with the pictures is called a product list on JotForm. And this down here, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, and let's see where I wrote it down, is called a quantity something. Did I write it down? No. I'll look at it when we go through it. It's a quantity something. And so when they pick this, they can say, I want 4 of those and 1 of these. And then when they go through and check out, so they'll do next, I put the information page, their information page, on the last page because I had seen a few that had this first, but then I want this required. I want to know their name. I want to know all their information. And I made all of this required. I didn't want them to be required to do this first because they would have to fill this out every time before they even got to see my stock on the next page. So I made this last so they can see my stock at any time they want. They can browse whenever they want, but to check out, they have to fill out all their information. So this is where I'll have that, and they have to put in everything. And then once they fill all this out, there'll be a next button. And once they check out, I will get an email. And with that email, it will say which products they chose and which bars they chose. And whatever bars they chose will automatically update on my form because it is in that quantity option. But my product list stuff, so the things that have the pictures, those will not automatically update. I will have to go through and manually take those out. But I didn't want to just list my warmers. I wanted to put pictures with those. So hopefully I'm not going too fast, and I cannot see the chat, so I will check it when I'm done. So here is the JotForm.com website. This is where I shared, or this is where I made my form. So I have to move this too because everything's in my way. Okay, so here you just hover over it, and when you sign up, it's going to log you in, and you're going to just click Create Form. And from there, well, let's just make a new form. I went from start from scratch, but I did also share my template. So if you're on this training and you want to use my template, you can choose use template, and it's called Shop My Stock with an exclamation mark. And you should be able to search those words and I will come up. But I personally did start from scratch, and I did a classic form. And hopefully this is going to work. And this is the beginning. And I will say that I Obviously have done a lot of work on this. It took me a while to do it. But I do want to note that I built this at the end of the month after I had 3K PRV and 2 sponsors and everything I needed for my business. So this has been on my list for a long time to do, but it wasn't a priority. So moving forward, it will be easier to share my stock, but it wasn't something that I did before I made sure I had my sales or where I wanted to be in my business for the month. So this is where you will start, but I'm going to go back to my form just so you can see how to edit things. And so once you start building it, it's like Google Forms in the way that anything you add to it, it's going to save it automatically, which is awesome because I am one to always forget to save. Let me move this somewhere too. That's the bad thing about Zoom is something's always in my way. So here you will see that there's a few editing buttons on here. This is where you'll do your color. This is just an image I made in Canva and uploaded. And I picked my colors. That was the last thing I did, but that's the funnest, right? So here you will see when you click on it, it will highlight blue around it, and then you just go down until it gives you the prompt. Maybe there it is, to click your product list. Now this option is for what you want to put pictures on. And in this, I also made categories. So to make a new product, you put in the name, the price, and the description. You can choose an image. And I did save it. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Walnut. I got my scent of the month stuff in yesterday. So, and I'm just going to put it as 8. And so for here, I will, anything you can find on Google, usually. Please don't prove me wrong. And it's not on our website yet, but it's somewhere. It's always somewhere. So I literally just went through and either copied off my website or copied off of the description from our brochure. And so I just copied that, and that's where I'm going to put my description. And I think I already saved this, we will see. So you click choose images and you can just upload from your computer. You can put in a URL if you want, but I just went through and saved it on my computer. Walnut spray. And then here is where I'm going to put my category. It's a room spray, and you can put whatever you want. A lot of these are what's on our website, but like room spray is not a category on our website, but I didn't want to put in, I don't think I have many other unplugged products. So I just chose to do that one on its own because I get room sprays every month with our scent of the month. And you have the option to make the product mandatory, select by default, which personally I didn't want to. And then with the selector, with the product list. So again, the product list is the option that you will choose for pictures. I did a drop down and the quantity is only going to be 1 because I only have 1 on hand. So I'm going to save that. And then I have to move this. Whoop. Trying to unmute you, Berkeley. Sorry. I cannot see on my screen because it's right in the way. There we go. Save product. And then here you will see, of course, my computer wants to be super slow. It's going to be, well, you can see it that it's right here. Where'd it go? It's under warmers. So on your website, actually at the top, once you have it, there it is. So it's just like all the other ones. It has the description, and they can choose 1. You won't be able to see it now because you're in editing mode. But when you go back to your link, I'm going to refresh this and see if it updated it. Yep. So it automatically saves it and updates it. I didn't have to do anything except to put it in. For the product list, again, pictures is why I chose to do that one, just so they can see what's what. When you first come out with a blank form, if you want to start from scratch, you're going to come over here to add form element, and this is where you will choose your product list right here. You can only do one product list. So as you add on, you can add on to categories. And to do that, come on, computer. You're going to go to properties. Hopefully that's the right one. Nope, that's not right. And I forgot to say a full disclosure at the beginning that I am still obviously very new to this, so I just wanted to share. There it is. So you just go into the settings and enter a new category right here, and you can add or take away at any time what you want to do with that. And then once you add a category, you can go back through and move it to a different category. So say I did want to do an unplugged instead of a room spray category, I could then click all my room sprays and move it over. So for the bars, this is a quantity gift registry. There you go. That is the add form element that you'll choose for the bars if you don't want to do pictures and you want it to update automatically. So that's what you'll choose for that. And the way that you put it in is you literally just list it, and it tells you right here, you can add by counting adding number with the curly brackets. So I'm going to add in my scent of the month. Whoop, my scent of the month. Walnut, raisin. That's not how you spell raisin, Whitney. That isn't either. And I have 2 bars left. So I'd make the curly brackets and I put it right beside it. And you can see over to the left of my screen, it's editing it. And then there it is, right here. And again, it saves automatically. You can update your widget and you're good to go. So again, if you're starting from scratch, you'll want to add the form element for your product list. And then to add the quantity gift registry, you'll go over to the widgets and you'll type in quantity gift registry or just quantity, and it will come up and you'll see it. And then you just add it and build onto it. And then last but not least, again, you can go over here to your form designer and pick your colors and upload your image. Whatever you want to do, you can form it to the right, you can form it to the left, you can form it in the center, however you want to do it. So let me check and see if there's any questions. Yeah, so that's part of why I built it, because I was always out and about and people are like, well, do you have this on stock? I'm like, yes, but I can't remember how many. Now, the other part of it is my handy dandy notebook that I've been looking at is going to be staying right over by my bar stock, because I take them out all the time and give them to customers, and I, you know, gift them, or sometimes I'll use them myself. And so making sure that I'm keeping track and updating this as I update my stock. But yes, it's literally just a link. Yes. Yes, I am recording, so hopefully I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. There is an app, but I haven't downloaded it yet. But you can set it to where you get an email when someone requests something or when they want something from your stock. Once they fill out the form with all their information, it will send you an email. You can update that too. I also said at the beginning that I did share my template on JotForm.com, and you just search shop my stock ! And it will come up, and you can use that template to build off of. So The last thing I'll say about this is even if you don't have a large stock, starting to do something like this now when you don't have a lot of stock is important, because one, it's one place where all of your products are, but also you have room for error, right? So you don't have like 25 warmers to upload and be like, oh, I didn't want to do it that way. You know what I mean? So go ahead and, like I said at the beginning, once your business is where you want it to be, once you have your PRV and you're where you and your team need to be for the month, this is a low priority to do in your business. But then take the time to just play around with it. That's how I learned, is just playing around with it. The widgets and the product list was something that both, I can't remember who, it was either Chastity or Amy, had suggested doing, but there's so many different other ways that you can update it. You can make this as cute and detailed as you want, or it can literally just be a list. It's totally up to you. Yes, Casey, I talked about that at the beginning. So make sure once I do the record, or once I post the recording, you can watch the beginning of that, of how I got to where I am with my stock. I personally have stopped using rewards for stock because I don't do events right now. But I'm to the point where holidays are about to happen and I want to be able just to share a link. So I hope this was helpful. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. And if you're just hopping on, make sure you go back to the beginning, because there were some very, very important points about how and why I do this. So I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you guys soon.